Good morning, colleagues. All protocol observed. My name is Richmore Kaseke, and I work for the Center for Renewable and Sustainable Energy Studies, which is at Stellenbosch University, under the directorship of Professor Mampweli, who was supposed to join us in person today, but unfortunately, due to some urgent commitments, he had to cancel the trip. He is supposed to give us a welcome message, I think, in a few minutes from now, but unfortunately that also has been postponed to a later stage during the course of today. He is actually trying to get a flight. He was supposed to present, I think, around 9, and he had the time, but because we had the delays, he's now unable to give us that welcome. So I just want to mention that, and so I can proceed. Okay, the center, I think Professor Mampweli was here. Ms. Nyukwana talked about the summit that was held here, and Professor Mampweli was invited to speak at the summit, and there were discussions around what should happen beyond the summit. And what we're seeing today is one of those things that they agreed upon, which is a post-summit action in the form of a Renewable Energy Roundtable seminar. This has been quite interesting for us to take part in. Ever since Prof. Mampweli came to attend the summit, he brought back some good news to us and really got us to start working to try and collaborate closely with Krisan District Municipality. It gives me pleasure to be here and in person and attend and meet with the colleagues here. I hope we'll all have the chance to network and start all the collaborations that need to be started. We have also, from Stellenbosch side, we have partnerships with a number of organizations that we work with, we collaborate with. And I'm pleased to inform you that some of them have agreed to our invitation to participate. They're also on the program. They'll be talking to us about the various projects, exciting projects that they are working on in their institutions. Some of the projects that they're working on are related to what the municipality is trying to achieve here. So I foresee a lot of collaborations coming out of this interaction. All right, first is on my list, I would like to introduce Professor Mampweli, who is online at the moment. I'm sure probably not at this point, but he was online. He will be talking to us after lunch. He's the director for the Center for Renewable and Sustainable Energy Studies. And I work under him in the center as a project manager and a senior research engineer. I also have Mr. Simnikiwe Gulwa, who is with me today in person. He's an engineer in the center and helps with all the projects that in the renewable energy space. Then online, from our partners online, we have Dr. Silas Mlaudzi, who is a specialist for sustainable energy under SALGA. He is also going to talk to us later in the day. And then I have Mr. Kuda Dragula. He's not yet online, but he has promised that he will join a little bit later. He's in another commitment. Mr. Kuda Dragula is based in Namibia, and he's the executive director for SADC Center for Renewable Energy and Energy Efficiency. So in short, that's SACRI. We're going to have him talking to us about the role that SACRI is playing in the SADC region. Then I have Ms. Ngobile Ngobo and her colleagues from Sanedi that are joining online. They're currently online as we speak. Ms. Ngobo is a data analyst and she's leading the EPC project. I'm sure you're quite familiar with that term EPC. And if not, maybe very soon some of you may find yourselves having to answer for not showing the EPCs by 7th of December. I don't know whether that has been extended, but we'll hear a lot more about EPCs in Ms. Ngobile's presentation, which is coming this morning. As you know, Sanedi is in charge of the EPCs as designated by the Department of Mineral Resources and Energy. Then I would like to acknowledge the support that we're getting from our other partners, the funders that we work with. We work with in a project which is a regional project, Soul Train. You hear about that project very soon in my presentation. Soul Train is a regional project. We have 6 country partners, and SACRI is an additional partner to the team. It's funded by the Austrian Development Agency. It has been funded for over a decade now, and it has been funded looking forward to continue a decade now for the next few years. Looking forward to continue later. For the next few years. Speak at that a little bit later. We also have our lead partner in the Soul Train project is AA Intec. I'm sure you've seen their logos on the our lead partner in Soul Train project. They are based in Austria, and they're mostly helping with the technical aspects of the Soul Train project. All right, so right, in a nutshell, this is the introductions that I've prepared for you, and I think as the speakers come on stage to present, I'm sure they'll give a little bit more about them, information about themselves, but I think this will suffice for now. And I also would like to thank Ms. Nyukwana and team for making the planning easy. We worked very closely together and very well. We never had any hiccups during the entire planning phase. And I'm quite excited to be here and witnessing the results of the planning the hours of planning that we put in. Thank you, colleagues, and I'll hand over now to the program director.
Thank you very much, Doc, and Ms. Nyukwana, for those introductions. I think we now feel at home and somehow know each other. It was a lot of introductions, so when speakers come and speak, they will still tell us who they are and who they represent. I don't expect you to remember everyone that has been introduced. But moving right along, before I call the acting CEO of the Chris Hani Development Agency to come and talk to us about really the problem statement that they're trying to solve, let me say to the executive mayor and the chief whip, you're welcome. We had a word of welcome from the executive mayor of the district. He, as you know, he can't be with us, but he shared with us his thoughts and gave us his direction in terms of what he expects from us today. With those few words, let me therefore ask the acting CEO to come and talk to us.
Thank you, sir. Again, it's a I must say good morning to the executive mayor, both the district and the Ingobai Temba protocol observed. Colleagues, good morning, all of you. I don't want to waste your time. I only have 5 minutes. I think they said 5 minutes or 10 minutes maximum. So what I'll do, I have only 10 slides just to give at a high level really the contribution of the Eastern Cape in the renewable. That's number one, and the participation of our region or of our district, and then the third one, it will be more really around the problem statement or the opportunities in partnership with both the Center for Renewable Energy and also the energy and water sector. So that's what I'll be doing now. I think firstly, I think there is a slide. I think that is there, where we'll touch really around the province renewable energy infrastructure investment. Look, according to the integrated resource plan of the energy, and in the coming 10 years, we need to provide about 15,762 megawatts of the wind farms, and also 6,814 of the megawatts of the solar, then 2,088 megawatts of storage. And I think the Eastern Cape is contributing about 1,513 megawatts currently, with about 15 farms, around about 15 farms, yes, I think so, and between 24 to 140 megawatts. And you'll see really their distribution from your cookhouse, your PE, and again your Dextrom from our side. And then that's where really there is a focus of both of our wind turbines and also of our solar. And the second one is that I think currently, if you, Executive Mayor Zonge, she will confirm this, she will witness the Honorable Premier just announced about 140 megawatts around the Middelburg Craddock in those areas, of about 3 billion rand investment. You see, I think we are getting there. Of which obviously our percentage as per expectation, where are we now? Because we really need to contribute towards that. And then again, so we need to look into those opportunities within the region in those areas of wind, solar, and the storage. But I think again there's a move towards your green gas, or your green ammonia, or your hydrogen. That's another one. And then I think we also really need to look towards that direction. I think we can see the map there. I'm short, so I'm not able to see. That really shows us how the distribution. I think you see the Dopa wind farm around your Dextrom, Molteno areas of the investment. I think about more than 5 years back, I'm not sure, really. And there's really that development around the Middelburg, in a way to your cookhouse, I think in a way to your PA. And currently now we are implementing resolution 11 and 28 of our investment summit, which was on the 13th and the 14th of July, where the first one was a partnership with the Stellenbosch University. The second one was around some two investors. We have committed towards the renewable energy. The first one, I think they are here already. The second one, they are in the sun farming. They are in Germany. There is a diplomatic visit organized by the Office of the Premier. I think they are going around the 8th of October next week. I think our mayor, she's also going there, whereby they're also going to visit the chairman of sun farming. They've also been invited by the chairman of sun farming. They want to invest about 110, 30, about more than 90 megawatts of the renewable energy, specific focusing on the solar. But their solar is more like your tunnels that underneath you can still plant, but then you also have that. And then I think they came down, they did some technical assessment in Ngoba Temba, both in Craddock and also in the Middelburg farms that are owned by the municipality. But again, in the Inokim Kijima, we're working around the common industrial park. I think about 10 hectares somewhere there. and where there is more of a farm. Then the third one was around the Lady Fry. And then in total, it goes about 90 megawatts at about 500 million rand. And we are going to that trip. And I think part of that trip really is also is to meet one of the very interesting investor that is working with Ukucha around the green hydrogen, around the energy, because we're trying really to come up with a link between the harvesting of your wind and also harvesting of your energy through the wind turbines and your solar, and to push really the hydrogen to Ukucha. It's quite a very interesting one, but obviously to export the hydrogen, you need to convert it to ammonia, and then so we're able to ship that. But again, also as a country, we still need really to deal. We still need really have a shortfall when it comes to ammonia, and also really converting it towards the urea on the agricultural side, on our side. So there are those development, I think, that will be taking place. If you see, I think there's that farm, I think the second slide. Yes, there are EDIPS. EDIPS, I think they've already done a partnership with Emalahleni. They are busy with a feasibility study currently. In Common Industrial Park, I think we're busy with an EIA. Council resolution from Ingoba Itemba is there. Enoch Mkijima, but I think there's also the work which we are doing when it comes to Emalahleni. Please just move the slides. And I think now because of as a district, we owe about 1.1 billion to ESCOM, and when I'm saying the district, with our local municipalities, so we really need to go towards an alternative as soon as possible, especially towards both the production, that is when it comes to us, we have a potential when it comes to land and food, but then again when it comes to bulk infrastructure and the economic infrastructure. So the partnership, the direction we want to propose to our partners, it is towards that. Firstly, working with our industrialists towards the roof structures, really, to have your solar panels, really, and making sure that really we are harvesting that, we are harvesting the energy as much as we can. But again, we have a major irrigation schemes within the region. I think we can just move there. We can just scroll down. The major irrigation schemes, more than 7,000 hectares under irrigation. We're pushing a lot of water from major dams within the region. But what are we using there? The energy that we're using. So we really need to move towards. We really need to move towards the. We really need to move towards the renewable energy. Please scroll down again. So I think I've touched on this one. It has about 10 slides. Just move this slide. We can proceed. Yes, I know can proceed. This just shows us already the corridor of the region. So our proposal, one, is the partnership towards mixing the energy we are using on the bulk infrastructure one. We have about more than 6 water irrigation schemes to supply the water throughout the whole region. I don't know how much really electricity we're spending there towards that direction in our villages and so on. So within our water treatment plant and so on, really, how much electricity really that we are consuming. So we want that in that partnership. We want plannings, preparations, feasibility studies towards that direction. The second one is around your irrigation schemes. They are not doing well at all when it comes to production. That means the tons produced per hectare, we're not doing well at all because of sometimes of the input cost, which is the energy is one of those. So we're saying let's partner towards that direction, and also really towards your serious dams we have in your Kongla, your Lubisi, your Ngocha, and the other serious dams that which we have. Next slide. Around the Kreidok area, we have about really serious farms that has about more than 8,000 and 10,000 hectares that are using the electricity. But how to make sure that we are able to partner with our partners. So this is kind of a statement or problem we are saying. Let's partner towards those development. Next slide again. I think it should be supposed to be the last one. Yes, I think I've pitched this one already. Just go to what we're proposing. Now, our proposal one is a partnership with the Renewable and Sustainable Energy Center. I think we'll be signing that MOU today, which is number one. I think again the second one, manufacturing or assembling of the panels as well as electronics represents. So we really need to start manufacturing those within our areas using the common industrial park, because the minute we move toward the renewable, how to make sure really that we start manufacturing those within the space. The solar panel manufacturing, the solar mounting frames, and the capacity building development programs in partnership with Energy and Water SITA, both on the renewable side, but then also on the water, on the water programs. You link that with your value chains really within the space, because we are really entering the space, but how to make sure really that we are moving towards that direction. I think that's all, Jefferson. Thank you so much.
Thanks you. Thanks for that, and for sharing that last slide that talks to what you seek to achieve, and give us some ideas on some of the opportunities that are there. So we are not going to listen to a message from Stellenbosch University now. That will be delivered after lunch. So as I indicated, it's a fairly packed program, and we want to get to the meat of the discussions today. And we are going to listen to the impact of solar to talk to the impact of solar installations at Twiza, and this is a case study of what has happened already. And before I call Robert to come and talk to us about this, I want to say to you, it's, in most cases, when we talk about renewables, the first thing that comes to mind is the cost. And sometimes we shut out because we think this is too expensive, I can't afford this. But I really want you to listen with a different mindset, and to say, this is possible. A company like Twiza has done this. Even if I don't necessarily have the balance sheet to can afford the investment, how do I partner with CHTA to make that possible? I really want you to listen, and with that in mind, because then we'll identify opportunities that we can collaborate on and invest collectively. Thank you, Robert.
Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, can I ask the media team to get me an HDMI cable, please? To plug in HDMI projector from here to the projector straight. Can we do that?
Oh yeah, he has to log in and then share the screen. Yeah.
Are we on?
So he has to.
All right, can you all see that? All right, ladies and gentlemen, protocol is observed. There's so many names and dignitaries here. If I have to go through all the titles, I'm going to feel rather overwhelmed. My title is just Mr., or you can call me Rob. My staff call me Rob or boss, and when things go wrong, they call me lots of other things. So let's just stick it like that. I'm the manufacturing manager at Twiza. Twiza alone, but our sister company has also had the solar installation installed as well on their side, and we run that for them too. The installation itself installed and commissioned in July 2019 by Tsunami Energy. You can see that overview of the whole facility. All those buildings with the little squares, that's what we went ahead and we covered with solar panels. It's now going to its 4th year of operation. It's a 0.73 MVA installation with 2,700 solar panels that's covering 5,500 square meters of roof. So at the time, when we went ahead with this project, you want to ask why we only went with 0.73. Power generation licensing was only at 1 MVA. And this solar system, as most factory solar systems, it's a power compensation system and not a UPS system. So when the sun is there, it can assist, but you can't store the energy on a factory basis. That's just too big. It'll cost you another 40 or 50 million rand in lithium-ion batteries just to be able to store any energy. Quickly, Antwerp itself, we are pulling at about 3.5 MVA on the site. We've got 4 transformers that are pulling and feeding, and we've got a staff complement between the 2 plants on site there of about 450 people. As we went into the design phase, you can see that's the sketch. All the buildings with all those roof panels covered, we just covered everything that we could find. That was the way we went with this project. How does solar power compensation work? Photovoltaic panels convert sunlight into direct current or DC, which inverters then convert to alternating current. The inverters synchronize with the incoming Eskom power, which is municipal run at Quindustria, to assist in the plant's consumption. If the plant demands drop below 18%, so we equipped to subsidize our plant at 18% with solar, then the inverters start throttling back because they've got nowhere to go with their power, and this power is actually lost. And the reason why I'm bringing this up, I'll bring it up later in a couple of slides. There's just an example of one of the transformers. The gray area is our power consumption, and the green area is what the solar is busy providing. As you can see, where the solar drops off, that's obviously nighttime. We cannot use solar at night, unfortunately. If you can invent that, I'll be very happy as well. How did we go about putting the solar in? What made us decide to actually own and not rent? So we must understand the 2 different things. There are options to actually rent a system which actually doesn't cost you a thing. So companies come and install solar at your facility. You then buy the energy from them at a reduced rate. So it doesn't cost you a cent to actually be able to use the benefit of solar. You're just providing space at your premises, and then you can buy power from them. So there are many ways to get into this, guys. There are easy ways to get into this. We decided to go with our system to own. The deposit payment, 8.89 million. And I'm going to come across here now. I'm not an accountant, guys. I'm just an engineer. But the net cash flow, we can see from the first year, 8.89, and as we go across, we can see by July 2024, the system would have paid it for itself and made us 1.3 million. Okay? Now, the finance guys say, we don't take into consideration that's actually tax deductible. So after tax, by July, this coming July in 2023, we already made 1.4 million. Okay. The other advantage is this solar system is designed for 25 years. So at the estimated lifespan, we will roughly have saved 141 million rand on this installation over 25 years. The good news as well is the module is based on a 10% escalation in tariff rates and the throttling of 9%, that's the lost opportunity. We already, as a benchmark, we've checked after the 3rd year, we're tracking ahead of this model by 200K in savings already. It works. It works. And this model didn't take into account any load shedding happening. So you can imagine where we would have been this year if we did not have load shedding. Our service provider was Sonani. There are so many other companies. We like to use Sonani because we've got a 6-year relationship with them. The other services they provide us is a factory. Trudy, you guys might be quite interested in this thing. They do power management and waste control online. When we say waste, power waste. They automatically flag an SMS or email if there's any unnecessary power utilization. They monitor which equipment's running and if it's actually pulling a proper load or it's just idling. And then they also engage with the municipality for invoicing, incorrect tariff rates, any queries. They understand the jargon. We don't always understand the jargon, and they can go and then discuss with the municipality what the issues are, which is really great for us. Just from a power monitoring point of view, over the 5 years, they've reduced our power consumption or power cost by 11% per month, which is roughly 130K saving, just from them monitoring and advising us where we're using and where we're wasting power. You must understand we do use a lot of power, but 130K saving in the back pocket that we use as well to feed back into the solar system to pay it off even faster. Let's go one back. That's generally a report that they're busy looking at. They're monitoring all our equipment. They're monitoring which is idling, how much, if it's pulling too many amps or too little amps, they can work out what the machine is doing or what the plant is doing at the same time. As you can notice, you see all those dips in between. That's all load shedding, unfortunately. And once you come out of load shedding, you've got to switch all your equipment on. The equipment's got to heat up and warm up, and you see everything just spikes like that. So the absolute damage that we are getting to our financial statement as well as to our equipment because of load shedding is we cannot underestimate what is happening to the economy right now. Further opportunities with the current system that we have. We can turn the throttling instances when we're not pulling power into revenue and to feed that back into the grid. This Twizzler Crickley system we have now is ready for that. This, however, requires the municipality to modernize the accounting system and to sign up with the micro-embedded power generation agreement. And unfortunately, we've been trying to get this agreement signed for 2 years, and we're still unsuccessful with our application. Nomveliso, I know it's sitting with you now, asking you for assistance. Have you got any joy yet? Every side. This would lighten the load on a highly stressed electrical system already. And with our executive mayor's comments earlier, we really welcome what he said to continue to engage with local government, for business to continue to engage with local government. And we hope that this time local government is open for business. Just in case you thought I was bluffing, that's what the form looks like. It is an official form for application for connection of embedded generation. It is in place. We just need a signature. And that's it from Twizzler. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Rob, for that presentation. It is exciting to see that you can actually get into this for free. You don't have to be spending 8-9 million rands. You can do that, or if you can afford that, you can spend a bit of money up front. But the second exciting thing is that when municipalities start buying energy from companies like Rob and others, it creates another revenue opportunity for companies, and that is exciting. So, colleagues, I'm sure Rob will be here and we'll talk to you a bit more over tea and when we have a session for question and answers. But before we go for tea, I want to squeeze in one more presentation, and I am going to ask Soul Train. Is it Dr. Kaseke to come and talk to us a little bit about that, and then we'll break for tea.
I'm going to try and share on Zoom link. I'll share on the Zoom link. I'll share my slides. Okay. No, I'm going to share the slides on the screen. No, I'm using the link. I'm on Zoom. Okay. Are you connected to the link? Okay. I'm sharing my slides. Okay. All right. It's in slide mode. Okay. Okay. I'll try and run through this as quickly as I possibly can, in the interest of time. Okay. I would like to introduce the program called Soul Train. I've mentioned that we're partnering with Soul Train, funded by ADA, Australian Development Agency, as well as AA Intech. And this is a program that has been running. We are in our 12th year of this program, which is the final year, Soul Train 4. And we're hoping that we'll get 4 more years for another Soul Train, but now called Soul Train Plus. So we're hoping to get that announcement soon. In principle, the funder has agreed to the concept that we've submitted. It's just the formalities of signing on the funding agreements and so on, and getting the official award letters and so on. Right, but Soul Train, like I said, it's been running for over a decade now. But what is Soul Train? So you can see that Soul Train is actually an acronym standing for Southern African Solar Thermal Training and Demonstration Initiative. So because it's Southern African, I would like you to just understand that it's not a Stellenbosch initiative, it's a regional initiative. We've got 6 country partners. And who are those partners? You can see on the little map on the right that we have got Mozambique, Zimbabwe, Botswana, Namibia, South Africa, and Lesotho. And then we have an additional partner who is assisting us with the regional coordination at the level of your government and the diplomats with SACRI. So Kuda Ndlakula, who is the executive director of SACRI, as I've mentioned, will come online as well to give us a talk about what SACRI's role is. Okay, so what is this Soul Train? Soul Train has been formulated around 6 pillars, and the pillars are being indicated to you now. And in terms of phases, phase 1 was May 2009 to 2012, and the second phase followed thereafter. Are we okay? Okay. So I was talking about the 6 pillars which are being indicated to you on the slides now. And then in terms of phases, we started in 2009 was phase 1 and ended 4 years later. And in 2012, we started phase 2. 2016 was phase 3. 2019, we started with phase 4. Just to give you an indication of the financial figures that are involved, just in this current phase, which is the 4 years starting from 2019, for all the partners, I think we received about 2.5 million euros from Austrian Development Agency. So I'll now unpack all the work that has been done so far in the 6 pillars. 6 different pillars under Soul Train. Starting with training, we have conducted a number of trainings over the years, and the trainings are quite different. And what we have training that targets artisans. We call it artisan training. We run dissemination courses at vocational training colleges. We also do quality inspectors course, and we run specialized courses as well. So between 2009 to 2022, we have trained about 5,000 people in about 200 courses that were conducted. This is not only Stellenbosch, but all the partners involved. Then under demonstration goes hand in hand with financial incentives. Demonstration is where we set up systems to showcase the